it's a lovely Friday morning. Of course, that long-awaited weekend is finally here. And we can all just wrap up with a beautiful, beautiful weekend and go home and sleep. Well, good morning, guys.
Well, we'll go home and iron for the VGMA. It's coming up tomorrow.
We will.
You know,
but I mean, you can get some good sleep before you go into the VGMA, because you know it's going to be a long night. But very interesting because Johnny will be there, George will be there, Bright will pass by. Hopefully, I may pass by.
I'm told that he's now rebranding from George Queen to Echo Chestnut.
That's it. Nice.
Okay. Good morning, guys. Good morning. Good morning. It's Friday, and we have a lot of things packed up for you. There's going to be a live band performance for you. Of course, we're going to build up to the VGMA. Daily Rant is happening and a lot more action. So you don't want to flip your time. If you're stepping out of home, we're live on Facebook. So you just go onto Facebook and find us, TV3 Ghana, and watch the live feed.
No, if you know that tonight you won't be able to go to live band, stay right here.
Yep.
We'll give it to you for free.
Wonderful right in here.
You're bringing it to your home.
It comes with all the package, not only the live band, but the other things that makes the live band.
You might want to get some
for example,
right now.
Yeah, there's always some gizzard and something.
Okay. Because
like Coke or Fanta or
Coke, Fanta, malt or juice.
I mean, say a sweaty bottle. That's all.
You were saying something else, right?
No, I'm saying that. Okay, the live band, you know, after dancing and shaking and up and down, you need to eat. Okay, so there's gizzard, there's fried yam, and other things. It's a
right. Your stomach will reject Fanta, right?
Are you going to buy it for everyone?
Oh yes.
Oh, that will all be there, won't we?
I heard of but Bright has said that over and over again. It never happened.
But the thing is, you have to meet him at a special place to be able to get it. As for that special place, whether you know, that's the issue, because Bright and his witch. But guys, we'll be doing something interesting here. As you can see, I'm holding a magazine, which is the Ago magazine, the April 2018 issue. We'll be giving it to our cherished viewers. You just have a little things to do, and you certainly.
I like the new design of the Ago magazine. It's come a very long way.
Yes, it has.
You know, and I like it. I think
it's a Ghanaian magazine.
It's indigenous,
so
it's lovely. And well, Yvonne Nelson has just one daughter there. I thought that the man was going to be by his side, and it appears
the man is there. You know, men are always in spirit.
In spirit, okay. But it appears that what do you call her? Moesha has, if you like, rubbished all the war that was waged by Pepperdam Ministries, because Pepperdam were actively, you know, talking about all the things that she's talking, that men should not use women and all of that, and then she started to give them a gunsh.
Well, she didn't give them a gunsh, to be honest. I think it's all what women would not be happy about, because that's not what most women stand for. And so again, we've spoken about that generalization.
Yeah, but when she spoke
for herself, that was fine. But if you say all women, exactly, the hardworking women in Ghana, the hardworking African women,
but you see,
and I mean that's unfair.
Initial thought is that it'd be a gunsh.
You just want to
I have kept quiet about this, and I said when I had the interview and the reaction, I just told myself, well, just like Jesus told that woman in the Bible, well, those of you who've never sinned, insult her. As simple as that.
Well,
no, say it like that. But I think that you're really making it very trivial. Because that's not what it is. No one seems to have an issue with what she said. But the problem is, if she personalized it and said it was her,
that's my reality.
Fine, that's her. But if you speak for many Ghanaian women whose shoes you haven't walked in, that's not fair. Like
who appointed Moesha to be PRO for Babina, for Harriet, for Brenda?
That is certainly, and when you're giving, especially when you're giving such a platform, right? I mean, of course, we know Christian. If you look at it, Christian Amanpour was a journalist. She knew what she wanted, and she knew who to go to get the kind of information she wanted to carry her story, and that's rightly what she did. But so when you're giving that platform and you want to speak in your person, she didn't call you as a Ghanaian to speak for everybody. She called you in the person of Moesha.
What I am saying is that I still insist, anyone who said he or she has never sinned before should cast the first stone. How many Ghanaians can say that they've never made a silly statement before? Exactly. Why they insult? Please, I still insist, just like Jesus told the woman, if you've never sinned, cast the first stone. Let's move on.
Are you talking? Oh no, slow down. So Bright is talking about any Ghanaian. But yes, this is a person who is viewed as a celebrity. And I said yesterday, look, the word celebrity comes from the word celebrate. What is celebratory about this?
I said any celebrity who has never made a silly statement before should cast the first stone.
No, you said any Ghanaian,
it feeds into the concept where we just call anybody a star.
Yeah.
We see for me, I think people who are not even known in a flower, we call them stars.
She's brought to bear some challenges, and I need government to also tackle those rent issues and all that.
I still insist. Look,
that is the reality.
We are told that we have a 6 billion world population.
Right.
Any one of us who falls into this 6 billion and who said he or she has never made a silly statement in her life before or his life before, I said that person should cast the first.
But why are you calling it silly? Does she recognize it is silly?
It is silly.
I said I don't. But some said it is silly. Others said, well, that's her, and I'm saying that. Those of you who are insulting her, I said, if you've never made a silly statement before, cast the first stone and let's move on in life.
You know what? This thing won't stop. Let's just take the news, guys. Johnny, I will even allow you to end the just take the news and let's go. Moisha is sleeping in her bedroom there, people.
Okay, so our news is up next here on your favorite morning show, Newday. Remember, you can also watch us live on DSTV channel 279. My name is George Queenan. And Accra High Court could not constitute the 7-member jury for the Major Maxwell Mahama murder trial to commence. This was after the accused persons rejected 8 out of 14 potential jurors presented to the court for selection. Seloma Menya was in court and has filed this report.
The court needs 7 persons to be accepted by the accused persons to be empaneled as jury. Per the rules and the Ghana's legal system for the selection of a jury, each accused person has the right of rejecting 3 potential jurors without stating reasons. Any other rejection afterwards must be done with solid justification. After almost an hour of engagement between the lawyers and court officials, 6 persons comprising 4 males and 2 females were accepted. The trial judge was forced to adjourn to enable the court to get 1 more juror in order for trial to begin. On that day, 5 jurors will be presented for 1 to be selected. Major Mahama was lynched at Dencho Boasi in the Central Region on May 29, 2017. The accused person standing trial for his murder, William Ba, the assemblyman of Dencho Boasi, Bernarda Samoa alias Daddy, Kofi Nyako aka Abortion, Akwesi Ba, Kwame Tufo, Joseph Apia Kubi, Michael Enim, and Bismarck Donko. The rest are John Bosi, Charles Queenan, Emmanuel Bedu, Bismarck Abanga, and Kojo Enima. The case has been adjourned to Monday, April 16.
And our social activist and editor-in-chief of the Insight newspaper, Kwesi Pratt Jr., has vowed to fight the implementation of the U.S.-Ghana Defense Cooperation Agreement. He was speaking at a public lecture organized by the Ghana First Patriotic Front, where other speakers shared similar views.
This agreement cannot be changed and cannot be improved. It is a bad agreement and we ought to reject it. Unless some people say, but the agreement has been signed already, so what? The bond of 1844 was signed and yet we fought against it and got freedom from colonialism. We will do it again.
The managing news editor of the Insight newspaper, Kwesi Pratt Jr., accused minority MPs for failing to challenge the defense minister at the committee level on the U.S.-Ghana Defense Cooperation Agreement. But MP for North Tongue, Samuel Okujeto Ablakwa, sets the record straight.
Your concern is right that it was rushed, but don't blame Parliament. You are blaming the wrong person. This agreement was brought by the executive. Until Joe FM broke this story, we did not know that these negotiations were going on behind the scenes.
He, however, jabbed the president for the posture during his address, saying Ghanaians did not deserve that.
Paragraph 4 of the preamble to this agreement reveals that President Trump called our president and they had a dialogue. to initiate the negotiations for this agreement. That is where we expected President Akufo-Addo to show this kind of robustness and toughness and macho, not on us, innocent, defenseless, miserable citizens.
Former National Security Advisor General Nunu Mensah bemoaned what he called hypocrisy on the part of Ghanaians in confronting the truth.
We have all behaved the same. We don't tell the truth. We don't have moral courage to speak our mind. That is our biggest problem in this country. But if people with the president tell him, Mr. President, with all due respect, I don't believe that we are doing the right thing, he wouldn't have done it. If you speak the truth and you lost your Land Cruiser, so you keep quiet to keep your Land Cruiser.
International relations expert Dr. Kenahosu warned of sour relationship between Ghana and its neighbors in the West African sub-region if government proceeds with the signing of the US-Ghana Defense Agreement. The public forum was organized by the Ghana First Patriotic Front as part of activities to intensify pressure on government to withdraw the Ghana-US Defense Cooperation Agreement. In attendance were some prominent members of the NDC, PNC Chairman Bernard Mona, representatives of some political parties and students from the University of Ghana.
You can interact with us on stories aired so far on our social media platforms. On Facebook, it's News on TV3, and on Twitter, it's News TV3. Our WhatsApp number is 050-823-5228. And let's still do some stories where the ongoing dredging work in parts of Accra is costing the government over 1 million Ghana cedis. The mayor of Accra, Mohamed Newday Sowa, indicated plans to cover all open drains within the capital.
The Accra Metropolitan Assembly AMA has awarded contracts for 17 drains in Accra to be desilted. The contracts cover both secondary and primary drains with a total cost of over 1 million Ghana cedis. A breakdown of the contract reveals the AMA has had to spend 460,000 cedis to desilt primary drains. Additional 600,000 Ghana cedis has also been spent on secondary drains. The Metropolitan Chief Executive Officer of Accra, Mohamed Newday Sowa, visited dredging sites including South Kaneshi and Sukura.
We've done same about 2 months ago. So the continuous dredging and desilting of the drains is what is preventing the flood to happen. But this is not a panacea to the problem. I think that we have to be more forceful in making sure that we have a permanent drain. Once we have a permanent drain, this thing will be a thing of the past.
Residents are, however, apprehensive about the dredging exercise and have called for a permanent solution.
They should stop the desilting because it's just an ad hoc measure. Instead, they should provide coverts so the platform could be used for shops.
This is what they do every day, but it's not working. As you can see, they desilt and leave the sand here without cutting them away.
According to Mohamed Newday Sowa, contracts for the desilting of the drains will be done by the end of April. At the Okashi Drag Lane, traders were tasked to observe good sanitary practices.
Heavy-duty equipment belonging to the National Disaster Management Organization, NADMO, to be used for rescue and clearing operations in the event of disaster have broken down and are lying at NADMO headquarters idle. The development is hampering NADMO's operations, causing the organization to ration the use of the few excavators on first-come, first-served basis to assemblies for desilting drains.
The heavy-duty equipment comprises 3 graders and 4 tipper trucks. There are also 4 excavators, but only 3 are operational now. These are parked at the headquarters of the National Disaster Management Organization. This is one of the graders that is supposed to be used in rescue operations, especially going into the rainy season. But as we speak, the grader has completely broken down, and NADMO has no means to fix it. The graders are used to clear debris to enable personnel to reach victims trapped in collapsed buildings. The Director of Communication at NADMO, George Ayisi, said the graders had not been put to use since they were purchased in 2015. He said efforts are underway to get them repaired, but funding remains a challenge. Bright Atama, NADMO Director of Hydromet, said the remaining equipment are sent out to clients on first-come, first-served basis.
We have about 4 excavators, which is not enough. However, we try to save all the assemblies. So the first-come, first-served. So if you notify us that you need an excavator for a dredging, we'll give it to you on, you pay a token because we need to maintain the machine. As at now, because the parts are very expensive, so we give it to you for 2 weeks. After 2 weeks, the machine will be sent to different location.
Token, what token means? They pay money?
Small amount of money because for repair works. Because after 2 weeks of dredging, there's a likelihood that a part will spoil and you have to repair it, and we don't have money for that. So it depends on these tokens from the assembly to repair the excavators.
NADMO is heavily involved in almost all rescue operations in Ghana, and with the onset of the rain, its operations would be severely hampered considering the state of the relief vehicles.
On MTN Video Report, Afote Stephen, our citizen journalist, reports from Tanoso in the Kumasi metropolis on a bent high-tension pole.
This is a high-tension pole situated at Tanoso, right behind Yasantwa school wall in the Ashanti region, Tanoso. Now, this pole used to be 2. One is lying down here. It got bent as a result of thunder strike about a month ago. This pole got bent, and we have made several appeals to the electricity people. We have called them, but they have not responded. You call them and they will tell you they are aware. I don't know whether they are waiting for the danger to strike before they will come and take action. Look at you, the one standing. Look at the way it's bent. And still, the electricity people are not ready to take an action. From Tanoso, the Kumasi metropolis, Ashanti region, there is Afote Stephen.
You can also send us a video report via WhatsApp number 055-143-3044, 055-143-3044. But that's it by way of news this morning. Many thanks for making time with us. For more news updates, log on to our website, 3news.com. I'm Josh Quenny. Newday continues right after this break. Good morning.
Welcome back. So it's time for us to do newspaper headlines. So we'll start off with a finder. It says, ICT is the anchor of New Ghana. Dr. Bawumia tells Ghanaian technology experts working at Silicon Valley. Also, FDA seizes 4,000 packs of tramadol in the Ashanti region. Then consider green infrastructure to address water-related challenges. Then also the minister says Ghana to launch first exploration licensing round in 4th quarter. Then finally, political parties should lead education on MMDCE's elections. That's coming from Haji Alima Mahama.
Is Dr. Bawumia aware that we're told that about 98% of Dr. Chua BC pupils failed their ICT because they don't have the necessary tools to study?
I'm sure he is.
And ICT is the anchor of New Ghana.
Well, you are going to Dr. Chua.
Yeah,
stay at Collegon or Kankwe South.
Just in Accra.
Yeah, in Accra, closer to the Flagstaff House. Right. Just stay here and ask those questions. I remember that when ICT was introduced and we started writing the BEC exam on it, and even some, in the SSC, Integrated Science. This has not been the first time we've had something like this being said. The question is, when GES admits students into those schools, what provision is made for them to be able to have the resources to be able to learn? In fact, in some cases, you'll find that there's even a teacher who expresses interest in ICT who is told or assigned to go and teach the children, not someone who's necessarily studied ICT as a full course at the university, or computer systems or info studies at the university who is brought to come and teach the children. So there's a bit of disadvantage. And I think that this is another rhetoric, if you ask me.
Yeah, that's
just
I mean, every government since 92, when we embarked on this journey, has just paid lip service to ICT. They come and talk plenty English. ICT is this. We are doing ICT that. We are making ICT this. And yet they leave and go and come. And even the basic tools that our young ones need to pick up skills in ICT, they don't get it. So if he is talking about ICT as the anchor of a new Ghana, then I guess that when he comes back home, a lot more will change from the basic level. We'll see our pupils get what they need to study ICT, where there are teachers who have no equipment to teach with, where there are schools that have computers but they don't have electricity to use it. There are schools that they neither have the computers nor the teachers. Okay, so it is not a matter of saying that the new Ghana will go with ICT. We should see practicality where we are driving all public schools to use ICT. Now these days, if your son attends a public school, forget about ICT. They are totally out. The private schools are trying hard. They have computer laboratories and they teach these young ones. As for the public schools, forget them. So,
I mean, but him going to Silicon Valley, particularly with leadership and also to appeal to the Ghanaians there, I hope he would get solutions being proffered to him, because at the end of the day, they are in the field and they understand how best these things work. And so maybe we have thought about the old ways of getting them technology. So hopefully they can be able to come up with ideas that will suit the Ghanaian market, the Ghanaian schools, because we know we have electricity.
Solar computer,
probably.
So
they could come up with more innovative
issues get
to be able to solve
there,
our
get the computers.
The man who designed fiber optics, Dr. Mensah, is a proud Ghanaian. It's a Santa. Proud Ghanaian. Recently he was in town. So this is a man who's done so well for himself, even in spite of all the challenges. He's been able to rise to the top. Why are we not tapping from him? Mr. Anoche at the NCA was with NASA. Brilliant man. Why are we not tapping from them? And you see, Bright said that if you go into the private schools, you find ICT thriving. The irony of the case is that it's the GES that supervises all these schools. And the GES insists that the private schools, if you want to teach ICT, you must have an ICT teacher, you must have a computer lab, you must have functional computers, you must have this, you must have that. So they give them all the prescription and they insist that they must abide by it. Why can't GES do it in their public schools?
Well,
so who watches the watchman? The watchman comes and says, it is not right to do this. They can't practice what they preach. In addition to that, I know that all the schools within public schools are under the district assemblies. The district assemblies continue to insist, for example, that they must have sanitary conditions, they must have a place that they can study ICT and all of that. The schools that the district assemblies themselves manage, how do they manage those schools? And somebody told me that he wanted to take them to court because they come and insist that we should do it, but then they don't do it. So it's more like, okay, we can talk down or at you because we have the law on our side, but when it comes to us, we are above the law.
John, it's a sad situation that after BEC, that's after 9 years in school, you can't even find a people use the computer to process a simple Word document. Some of them in some communities that I know. So it would be the anchor of New Ghana, but I guess that we should start with the hardware, get the schools to have the equipment. Then we can say that we are nurturing the kids to work more with the computer. But if we will sit at the top and keep saying that it's the anchor of New Ghana, we'll say that until Jesus comes, our kids will know.
Right, you know, the 68th New Year school, it happens every year. The 68th New Year school, I think it was at Legon or so.
Yeah, it's always at Legon.
Then they spoke about an idea that looked like the planting for food and jobs. Subsequently, we had the implementation of the planting for food and jobs. In it, they were talking about using ICT as an integral part and even having phones for the agric extension officers and laptops so that they can get ready information and transfer it to the farmers. Okay, 3 years down the line, nothing has happened. And you see, hastily, we moved to implement the planting for food and jobs. In fact, the New Year School at the time spoke about fighting fall armyworm using an ICT approach. Today, the fall armyworm is back. And then the ICT is nowhere to be found. Even to gather spatial data to help the farmers and to help increase their produce and yield, It's not there. So we go and sit down, we do all the condom tea, we drink tea, we wear tie, we speak big English. Nobody. And the vice president was there.
He was. And you know, just mentioning the fall army were an issue. I think in this week, we saw a newspaper that carried that story about foreigners coming to teach us how to use ICT to improve it. And I was thinking, if you had that to fight, to improve the fight. First of all, we say we've defeated them. So I'm wondering why
3 years ago we planned it.
But then we planned it, exactly. So why are you getting people to now come and teach you again how to do it? So was it just talk and really no, ideas backing it, just to make us happy that, government is saying something concerning ICT?
I don't think that governments, right from President Rawlings' time, even beyond them, have been interested in exactly implementing what the New Year School does. Because the New Year School is not just some small children or in Totofifi. These are experts. These are the best hands we have in the country. So if they're talking about Agric, you're talking about the dean of Agric School, you're talking about other professors from Tech, from Legon, from everywhere. All the people who go outside this country to speak in other countries, give them ideas, and then the agricultural sector grows. Why can't we use the resources we have here, the human resource and everything else, direct it and make, look, we always say Agric is the backbone of the nation. In fact, cocoa had always been our mainstay. But as we speak, do we know how slow Agric is growing?
Well,
do we know?
But FDA should be lauded for seizing some 4,000 packs of tramadol in the Ashanti region. But we hope they're able to do more, because this tramadol, tramol, whatever people call it, the red and white, all the combinations, it's really a big issue. And the effects you see people having after they've taken such high doses is very worrying. And it's the youth, the very educated, the young, hardworking people who should be on the workforce, actually making Ghana better, the economy grow, are the people indulging in these. And very soon, they may all die off because of the effects of, tramadol, and some going crazy even out of this. So I'm happy, but I hope it extends through all the regions, because obviously Ashanti region won't be the only people who have them. Accra, Eastern region, Central region, and the youth be educated. It's not everything that you should indulge in, especially when you don't even know. You've seen people and the effects, and you're still, you're that eager to want to know what it does. Really,
well, I saw a video of the fight against tramadol in Gabon. It was on social media. I saw it. What they're doing, it is really causing devastation there. I think that it shouldn't stop at FDA seizing the product. Amma, you're a medical doctor. How is it? How did it get here? Are they legal? Are they allowed to get into the country?
No, the particular doses on which they bring are
that is causing the harm. Then that is why I said that, look, the FDA seizing some in Kumasi isn't there. I think that we need a national fight. I saw the video from Gabon. I'll try and find it and see. The devastation it is causing there is terrible, and the country is all out to fight it. If it is being smuggled, then please, whoever is at the borders and is allowing these staff into the country should be taken. And that's why I say that we like talking too much. Why should we allow the product in first before FDA goes to seize them? Let us stop them at the border. It is causing
somebody told me, a friend of mine who is working on something like that, the documentary should be ready in a week or two, told me that some of the people who were arrested for abusing the drug were released after some bribe was paid, and he says they have it on tape. So I can't wait for that expose to come out. Plus, it's not just the FDA's fight. The Ghana Standards Authority, if you say that the doses in which they bring them, 250, some 500,
Johnny, this is 1,500.
So
250, 500 is what is allowed. That is
so people bring one tablet and it's 1,000.
Yes, from the pharmacy. We had a pharmacist last week, and he was even telling us that these doses are the high quantity doses. Obviously, I don't take it, so I wouldn't even know.
Are they at war? Have they been shot with a gun that they need morphine quantity of tramadol to nip the pain?
It's alarming. It's scary. Like Bright said, people bring it through the borders, and so why don't we make sure these checks at the borders are? They are tight enough to screen all the people who have to bring it in, so that when they don't even get in, for FDA to have the hard work of seizing
we're told that is what the armed robbers are using now. They take a dose of that plus Guinness or beer or any other.
They use energy drink as well and mix it.
And then when they take it, they become something else.
Yeah, because of course
they
it
even
numbs
kill
you.
when you're not
You're not seeing. And they fear no pain.
Exactly.
So
you won't feel any pain. Really.
Some guys told me that there's the tramadol that's mixed with energy drink. They mentioned some particular brands, of course I can't demonize it. And then it's mixed also with codeine. And then they would mix it with their own other things. Maybe it could be Indian hemp or whatever it is. They shake it and then they quaff it. And then there's something else. So Okada riders are using it. Drivers who want to work longer hours, who don't want to get tired, are using it. Yes. So all manner of people you would least suspect are using this, are abusing it. Some people even use it for sexual intercourse. So then they are numbed and they can go on forever and whatever it is. I think that, as Bright said, we must start a national fight. This is where the Minister for Health, the Minister for Gender and Children's Social Protection, the Ghana Standards Authority, the FDA, the Minister for National Security.
And again, all these unapproved chemical sellers, they have to be clear. Somebody comes those are other ports for them to sell it. Because when they get these drugs, because they don't even know that prescribable amounts, they think it's okay. They think it's a normal drug and they sell it.
You know what the guys do now? Somebody told me that the guys now, okay, goes to pharmacy A to buy tramadol. The next day he won't go there because he knows that he will be asked. So he travels to another pharmacy, travels to another and that's what they do. So if he buys in at Adabraka today, he will go to Su and buy tomorrow, go to Teshi and buy the next day. Then after 2 weeks he comes back to Adabraka to buy. So it is happening. Let's not pretend about it.
Okay. Anyway, but let's touch on another last headlines. Commonwealth visa scandal. The Deputy Minister and acting DG of NSA have been suspended and 3 top officials have been recalled. And then also Eastern Railway Rehab Project commences.
President Kufuor.
This interesting, Commonwealth issue.
In 2020.
But, there's always an issue when it comes to football, sports. Let me generalize it and say
football. Football. Let's keep it
I was trying to generalize it.
The Ministry of Youth and Football. Keep it there. The Ministry of Youth and Football.
Doctor and add names and all this. And at the end of the day, what hurts me the most is that you put Ghana in disrepute. And also the people who are there to represent Ghanaians, they're demoralized. Because when you hear all this noise surrounding your country, then really it makes it look like what you're even there to do. Is it real? Are you
also illegal?
Dubious exactly mean? Or, I mean, we shouldn't be doing
Look,
this.
I'm happy that the President has cracked the whip on these persons, the Deputy Minister, the Sports Council and everything. Because we know and we have seen evidence back then when we went to Brazil, what happened, how, the substantive minister who was, despite the fingering and all of those things, was called back to the Flagstaff House and made a Minister of State at the presidency. There was not even a slap on the wrist, even though the white document. So I'm hoping that this is not just another gimmick that will say Pius is being suspended or other people, and then after 2 weeks they'll tell it he's being cleared and then they are back at post. We must get to the bottom of this. There are 50 or 60 journalists in this. How did they become journalists? Through what means did they become journalists? These are the questions we need to be asking. And see, to the extent that they've been recalled from the games, it means they were not even worth going there in the first place. Because how do you perpetrate such illegality?
It's sad.
60 journalists.
Johnny,
we have Michael Otie J here. We have Thierry Nyan here. We have Afre here. We have Yaofusu Labi here. We have all our other sports team, Winter and everybody. How come not a single person, not one person, Papi, everybody, not one person from Media General,
Johnny, you see, I
was part of the team?
I am happy that the president has suspended the deputy minister and the officials. But I think that if we're not careful, we will see what happened in the Brazil inquiry happening. You see, why am I saying this? Now, national security is the institution that is investigating this. How can the national security investigate this and do a good job? A national security officer was on this trip. In fact, as we are talking now, they have recalled all the officials, but the national security officer is still there. Now, before any of these persons got out of this country, they had to be cleared by the national security. Okay, national security had to say that, Amma, you are good to go. Bright, you are good to go. Johnny, you are good to go. So, we assume that national security cleared these persons, these 50 so-called journalists, to travel. Today, it is the same national security that is going to investigate how come they got to Australia illegally. How does it work?
How does it work? A judge in your own court.
But anyway, guys, it's time for us to
You need criminal clearance from the state. Anyway, let's talk about Moesha. Yeah. She's been out in the news for all the bad reasons, getting the flag, but we have our own set of issues. You want to think about it.
And so let's see what you have to say as well.
Amma, did you also realize that there are also men who are prostituting now? This is what it feels like.
This morning, the spotlight is on Ghanaian model and actress Moesha Budong. There's a viral video of her in an interview with CNN's Christian Amanpour. In that video, she complained about Ghana's economy as being some way, and that has compelled most ladies to resort to men to fend for themselves. Do her views really represent the reality on the ground? This is Daily Rant. Let's keep talking.
To me, I think it was totally wrong, at least on a big platform like CNN, saying that at least you should think about what other people would think about the Ghanaians ladies and all that.
Don't you sponsor a girl?
Oh, sponsoring a girl doesn't mean you're family to social media, no.
But don't you think that what can her views do? It really sums up everything that happens in Ghana.
That is what she's doing. That is her lifestyle. That doesn't mean all the ladies out there are doing that, no.
You think so?
I think so, and I believe so. That is her lifestyle. That is what she's into. It doesn't mean all the ladies out there are doing that. No. It's a shame to our Ghanaian ladies.
You were expecting to talk about Ghana's GDP or something? I don't remember. I don't get it.
We know the economy is bad.
Yeah, okay.
And so for some previous years, the economy has been bad.
Yeah.
But for you to sit out there and say, so you go out with married men, excuse me. But is she okay?
No, she's fine. Moesha's fine.
It doesn't make sense.
I'm not talking for her, but I quite me say Ghana are a hypocrite. Because even ladies that are spoken to, they've testified say it happens.
Fine.
In China, we are bashing this
ladies girl. We are spoken to testify that it happens. Okay, 100% of ladies, Ghanaians now are saying. So 60% say yes, 40% are not doing that. It is 40%. Now, why are you? One say I can't say me say and number could me say inquiry and I do it. I don't know how to say it. Thank you. We need be. It's say oh yes, it's like who say money now? Oh yes, yeah, your sisters, yeah, who say a plan? What do I say? Yeah, and we are saying yes, sir.
Okay, Lema, do you have a sponsor?
Yes, I have.
Do you have a sponsor?
No, I don't have a sponsor.
Do you guys have? Are you sponsoring people? Are you sponsoring?
Yeah,
no,
yes,
I'm not sponsoring anyone.
Yes,
let me put it that way. The thing is, we are dating, we are in a relationship. You need something, I give you. I also need something, you give me. It's not all about you always need something else. I have to give you. That's not how it is. Me here, you have to give me. When you also need it, so I will give you. So I don't have to pay your rent and go. No, I'm not your dad. If you are dating, that doesn't mean I'm your dad. That one there's not very fair.
No, I'm not. Okay. But like what he's saying, that's what the ladies nowadays do. Yeah, they depend on the guys for their rent, for their hair, their dress, their makeups, like all those stuff. So it's normal. It's happening. What the girl said is true.
Do you have a sponsor? Is someone sponsoring?
I don't have a sponsor. I believe on being independent. You don't need a sponsor to make you who you really want to be. You have to depend on your own. You have to work for yourself. You don't have to depend on anyone to survive.
Okay, so look at this. Why are you people, bashing Moesha? Don't you think her views represent the reality on the ground? Oh, yeah. Is it not happening?
It's happening.
Yeah, it's happening. Yeah. It's happening so much because if she was not have money, she can't go to church and give her friend. Can't do her hair nice. Can't come to school. Do a lot of things for herself. Even if she go to menstruation, need money for pad and a lot of things. Okay.
So you can't tell me a profession is giving her that money to get those things she has. Yes, it's a guy. We all know it's a guy. That's it.
You know it happens, right?
Yeah. I know it happened, but that is why you have to stand up and then work for yourself. You have to be an entrepreneur on yourself. Get something doing so that you wouldn't depend on men for your upkeeping.
Yeah, it happens, but I don't support it because as a lady, you have to depend on your own. When you want to depend on the guys, he might end up maybe spoiling your life because he thinks he owns you. So anytime you can come in for sex, other things and stuff. Yeah, so like you shouldn't depend on guys.
We are all in the economy.
So she can't talk for all the ladies.
Not every woman is complaining.
Yes.
I'm not complaining.
They are not complaining.
Yes.
I don't see any hardship in it. Yes. There is more jobs in the country. The lazy ones are the ones complaining. Honestly, there's more. Even if you don't get, you can sell. Even as I'm a student here, I'm selling. I sell.
What do you sell?
Hair. I'm into hair.
Yeah.
That one I said maybe you can get a sponsor who will buy the, give you the capital.
It's not necessarily getting a sponsor.
You just have to get just a small capital and then you start it. But some people think that people are born with a silver spoon in their mouth. Like they want everything to be very easy for them.
Yes.
Nobody wants to suffer.
Very bad.
I even have a mom, so why should I channel that much money to you? Once I have a mom, she gave birth to me for a reason, and I should be channeling all my money, my hard-earned money. I should be giving it to you for what? There are girls of her caliber to do selling and cook. Can't she sell to get her money?
Look at the school of thought. It happens in Ghana, and so the people who are involved are like, hey Charlie, we're going anymore, so Wakasama are changing now. And it's more like she has, summed everything up for some ladies.
I think it's like what she said. It's for the ladies of a caliber. So you ladies, I don't think you are involved. Unless that's what I'm coming to say. Unless you are like her. You are like her. You do what she does. That's when what she said can affect you. But if you are not like her, like the way Memuna was saying, she's not like her.
You really believe in Memuna, pa?
Oh yeah.
Why do you go everywhere with her?
Oh nah, she's short. I'm in the same class.
I'm in the same class, and I don't ask money from them. Like I'm in the same class with them. I buy my food. Like I don't ask them for money. I don't buy.
So if he buys you credit, you won't take it.
Oh no, I don't need his credit. Like what? I don't work, but what my dad gives me is okay for me. I don't need their money or something. I don't like it. It's okay.
She's content.
I'm content with what I have.
Yes. You have to be content with what you have, because ladies of late, they all want to slay.
Yes.
And I think that is the issue.
If you want to slay.
Yes. If you want to slay and you don't have what it takes to slay, that is where you go in for those things. So I believe you have to be content with what you have. Yes.
So it means that what people paint about themselves, maybe sometimes on social media, it's not really what it is.
Of course. It's not
some people even go to the extent of borrowing.
Yeah.
They borrow clothes, shoes, hair, and then yes, makeup and stuff. And then when you see them outside, you think, hey, this girl is like,
you're not doing anything for yourself.
Yes, you're not doing anything for yourself. Like they make you feel so aimless. So it depends on you. And then as a lady, you have to respect your dignity. There is a tag on you that you don't have to let any guy come and spoil. Because right now, if you go and get a sugar daddy or you like sleeping with guys, the same guys are the ones who are going to tell their friends.
When Moesha was being interviewed, she talked about apartment, you'd have to pay 2 years and all that. So at least all those things are true. So that is fall back on government that okay, we are supposed to do something on the rent and stuff in Ghana. Like some problems have been brought up. And so we need, so if maybe you are supposed to take this rent a month, maybe she could have been able to afford that.
And then but there are ladies out there who get their money and they pay their rent in full. So why not Moesha also go out there, work like how those ladies are working?
And you know what?
When you start,
I also, in my view, I think it depends on the apartments you go for. Some ladies are very classy to the extent that yes, like they want to portray they see themselves very big. So there is no way she's going to go for a 1-bedroom apartment. Never.
That thing be say you be woman. You not reach your time say for go rent. So you for their house. If your time pass, you want to come marry you take your house. That be that thing.
I'm at 80 and maybe I stay far and I wanted to be at the hostel and I came in the school and I've gotten a room around and they are asking for 3 years. Hey, it's not like she wanted to leave home.
You for prepare.
She comes from Medina to come to school.
Your mom knows that it has been no.
And the course I do from 7 to 5.
Okay, wait.
7 to 5.
Right, if the sugar daddy preg you, how you go continue this school?
Zero. See, that's why I tell you that you do it, you go in with your head. So you do something. I'm not encouraging them. I'm not encouraging any girl to do that. Yes, but bringing. Oh, I don't do that. I only depend on my dad. I don't have a boyfriend or something like that. But it's that I'm just trying to bring out some things that make the girls do that. It's not like I'm encouraging them.
My girlfriend don't do that.
Yeah, she didn't say
my girlfriend don't do that. So she should exclude my girlfriend for me. I beg you.
Well, some students here at the Accra Technical University have made their thoughts clear. I don't know what you also think watching home. You can just log on to our social media platforms. On Facebook, there's News on TV3, and on Twitter, there's a News TV3. Our WhatsApp number is 050-823-5228. Just engage us with your comments, and we're always ready to read them and share them with the rest of the world. Thanks for watching. Have a good morning.
When you are Obe mo wuba mo say yes te one man. I don't think hallelujah. So then when you know you know the sister. My check 1 2. I look at the stuff. All right. Aba, on your wood, see. I did not dance the walk or I said that. I don't like the mark of Fabenia. I said that. Minimum not the bano, but he be not the mammo. Minimum not the bano, but he body be not the mammo. As a mention to virgin to mention, I love a go. As a mention to virgin to me, he'll be to Baba. But put him minimum not the bano, put him minimum not the bano. As a mention to virgin to mention, I love a go. Minimum not the bano, put him minimum not the bano. As a mention to virgin to mention, me to Baba go. I didn't be friendly. Never said that's the baby. Never said how about to take one more and I'm from Musuminity. I didn't some I think correct. No boost to energy for work. Yeah, what high on the low grade minimum dominion red. I the scientific research is it. What's my asthma and cancer? What's my epilepsy and your painkiller? Tell him is a rasta for answer. I didn't lie as he used to. Doctors he use that. Soldier police in every legalization of your issue. Right? Minimum not the bano. Minimum not the bano. As a mention to virgin to mention, I love a go. Minimum not the bano. Go to minimum not the bano. As a mention to virgin to mention, I love a go. Yeah. I didn't kiss election as a pedesu de ratata. Some meaning say high grade, I check my vocabulary, a one back. Stone boys, the beam, and the beam on so that's a baba. Nasa Chris Brown, I bear down on no such shut up for the shutter. Who knows the rebody? Nobody can stop. One man high grade, now you can say, for your matches. Bible say you need your banner, you use a hat out, fancy yellow banner for your day. Now Rasta man, chicken, baby, the fagina. What is it? Hey, macho. Money bay, and it was some thinking correct. I think correct. See, Rasta's meditation. See, they be a Rasta the bag. Rasta the bag, but we hear legalization. See, am I high the high school? Feeling the straight, me see woman the last two. How many beat? I report who the 1 2. Back at Obama and Banner, my the other light soup. Yeah, back at them, I'm in lead. We are 7 4 hours. See me from my eat because I get more powers. Yeah, Muhu Abolo Babu, I second Latin, woman, I eat and that's 2 hours. Say, yeah, we'll be very son of a banana tree. And a very millennium bella. Until my Natumbo, they be allowed to get to Walla Motalania. I dream me on a way, Jim. Oh, yeah. I bet a jar Rastafari. Minimum not the bano, body be not the mammo. Minimum not the bano, but the body be not the go. As a mention to Virgin to my treme, I love a go. As a mention to Virgin to me, Elviti Baba, Baboti, Minimanadivano, Minimanadivano. As a mention to Virgin to my treme, I love a go. Minimanadivano, Boti, Minimanadivano. As a mention to Virgin to my treme, I love a go. You know the sister. I don't know that I say. West Side Lega. Shot. I said that. I said that. As a man like a Marco Fabenia. Aba. Skeleton. Aba. I say, as a man like a Marco Fabenia. Skeleton. Aba. As a man like a Marco Fabenia. I said that. You know this is still. See, I didn't know that so well. As I was walking down the street, Michelle on the roadside. It was love at first sight. Names and into both sides. Intimately bendy. I'm a catcher the day. Someone I brought for now. I brought for now. I'm a some I brought for now. What's the then? I love you. Mommy, daddy, boy, say, Moda, Moda, I said, hey, honestly, some Pama made it. Some Pama made it. Some Pama made it. Some Pama made it step. Some Pama made it. Mammy Mackie came my mobiato. Mackie came my mobiato. Some Pama made it. Some Pama made it. Some Pama made it. Some Pama made it step. Some Pama made it. Mammy Mackie came my mobiato. Mackie came my mobiato. See the way I love the girl. You should not love me back and die. You know me can't check out the day. If it's true love, it no be lies. You know I used to be playboy, but I'm a sister. See mommy give your heart to me. I'm a commodore. You know I used to be playboy, but my sister. See mommy give your heart to me. I'm a commodore. Mama, I really wanna take you to the altar. I go to see mama, go to see papa, go to spread you like butter. True way. Ring national for the matana. Make the patapabo wear the one corner. See my mentor saw your wasama, but your wedding day I go to. Honestly, some Pema made it. 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 Mammy Mackie came my mobiato. Mackie came my mobiato.
Alright, and we're simply making your Friday a rollicking one, getting you excited and preparing you for an exciting Friday. And the Signal Band will remain right here in the studio, and they will be churning out more fantastic tunes to make your Friday and your weekend a wonderful one. ISM is on the microphone, and that's means that you are short of very good scintillating music. But time now to talk about what's in the newspapers, but don't go away yet because the Signal Band is back anytime soon. The Finder this morning says ICT is the anchor of New Ghana. Dr. Baramia tells Ghanaian technology experts working at Silicon Valley. And Ghana to launch first exploration licensing round in fourth quarter. That's according to Deputy Minister of Energy. FDA, we're told, has seized 4,000 packs of tramadol in the Ashanti region, and political parties to lead education on MMDC's elections. The Independent says Akufo-Addo lauded for suspending Deputy Sports Minister, and that story gets a lot of coverage on the newspapers. The Times has it too. Acting DG of the National Sports Council, we're told, suspended 3 officials recalled. And the Daily Graphic has the tramadol story. We're told that tramadol sold near senior high schools seized. Those are some of the newspapers I have this morning. My guest to do the talking, Member of Parliament for the Tamale North constituency, a member of the NDC, Honorable Alhaji Suyuni is here. Good morning.
Good morning, boss.
Hope you're doing great.
By His grace, I'm tired.
Thanks so much for your time. And I also have here a member of government communication to Mohammed Abdul Kudus. Good morning, too.
Good morning.
Hope you're doing great.
God willing.
Thanks for your time with us. Now, let's start with this conversation. The Independent puts it Akufo-Addo lauded for suspending Deputy Sports Minister. The Times says that Commonwealth visa scandal, Deputy Minister, acting DG NSA, suspended 3 top officials, recalled. And Times story is on page 16, and it says that the President has suspended Deputy Minister for Youth and Sports, Pius Ajide, Acting Director General of the National Sports Council, with immediate effect. Now, the statement which was signed by the Director of Communications, Mr. Ejunahin, said the decision followed investigations conducted by the CID into circumstances that led to the arrest of 60 Ghanaians who allegedly attempted to enter Australia for the games by false pretense. The Independent says Akufo-Addo lauded for suspending Deputy Minister. Let me read that story to you. President Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo's action on issues relating to Ghana's participation in the ongoing Commonwealth Games in Australia is commendable. Professor Kweku Asare, a United States-based Ghanaian professor, said. Now, he is suggesting that in a Facebook page, that's where he put it, the President's swift action on the Australia 60 is very commendable. That's the story in the Independent. Kudus, let me start the conversation with you. So, the suspension of the officials involved in this, and we're told investigations are ongoing. We have a similar incident that happened in Brazil with some issues with participation at the World Cup. Now, is the President suspension a way to get to the bottom of it?
Thank you very much. Let me say good morning to you, good morning to my friend and brother, Suyini, and good morning to your cherished and wonderful viewers. I think that without doubt, the issue of Australia has brought an untold embarrassment to all of us as Ghanaians. This certainly holds to the foreign relations that we have with countries, not to talk of the fact that it's just sporting activity. And I think that it is becoming one too many. We heard a lot in the, the soccer and organization of football across the international tournaments. Now we're reading in issues relating to athletics, and I think that everybody would concede that indeed it brought a certain unexpected embarrassment to us. So how should government go about it, and what ought to really be the way forward? I think that everybody called for investigation. People called for appropriate punishment of anybody who would actually be found culpable. And I believe the way to go is how government has decided to start with it. First of all, people are within the control of government in all of these things. And one is the Deputy Sports Minister, who acts in the stead and at the pledge of the President, and the acting Chief Executive for Sports Authority. And so government feels that, okay, these are people immediately within my control. So it is only important that government is able to take this particular action. The rest who have actually been called to aid in the investigation, if you realize their appointment of positions have actually not been directly related to government. Take the GOC, for example, is virtually a limited private organization whose membership are determined by some electoral processes, not controlled by government. So government cannot directly just say that you're suspended, but government can certainly call you because of the governmental involvement in the organization of all of this. So I think that is good, and it ought to really be commended. We kind of are having a certain departure from the past, where most of the time issues of this nature are reported, people are called to the presidency and probably reassigned. It doesn't send the signal and message of the seriousness of authority okay, towards wrongdoing. Some of these things, yes, I think that we would certainly have to really put it in perspective that this is not a conclusion. It is only a beginning of the process. So Pius has not actually been determined to be guilty. It is only a process of the investigation, as it were, to unravel the issues and get to the bottom of the whole issue. So I think that is good, and it is in the appropriate context that government is actually being lauded. We only pray and hope that at least we'll get that particular speed so people don't lose sight of the investigation, and we'll get a proper conclusion so we can have a lesson to be learned out of it. So we would have a departure when going into future organizations of this particular things. Like I said, you probably would see it as sports related, but it has bearing on international relationship among countries, okay? Because the next time there could be a suspicion of Suhuyini, for example, on his way to Australia, whether he's the real Suhuyini or an impersonated Suhuyini. So it is important that matters of this nature are handled with the seriousness that it deserves. And I think that we can't but have to just praise government that it has started well, and we hope that it would actually end well.
I see. Before I go to Suhuyini, you mentioned the fact that the persons involved, you said government has direct control over them. Now, could national security have been added to this brouhaha? And is national security indeed the institution that can really investigate this?
I think that is, but for our politics and probably politics, okay, the respect of our institutions should actually be there until and unless there is something that is convincing that something is untoward or something is not being done right, then we can raise the doubt. Okay?
Could these 50 persons have gone to Australia or have been given the clearance to travel without national security's
no, absolutely, absolutely.
Input?
Absolutely. If you know how this organization is done, okay, the local federations of sports organizations are the link, okay, to the international bodies in some of this. And so in the case of these Commonwealth Games, it is the Ghana Olympic Committee, like I said, which is a privately managed and run organization that is directly involved. They give the accreditation, the visas and everything, application is done through them, particularly for the athletes and the officials. It has nothing directly to do with government. Government would only have to come in because there's a certain coordination that government has to do through the sports ministry, okay? But the nitty-gritties in all of these things are handled by the Olympic Committee, which is the local partner to the international body. Okay, so they process all of these things, and it's done long before the event itself. Okay, sometimes it could take a year. In this organization, you give a preliminary list of people that you think that are going to be representing your country in all of the disciplines. Closer to the event itself, probably for want of funds, disciplines could actually be cut. Number of athletes who are actually being sent can equally be cut. So the local organization committee is the one that is directly involved. Okay. In the case of Pius, for example, he coordinates, he chairs the coordination of all of this, and probably that is why in the wisdom of government there is the need to ask him to step aside, since he'll be part of the investigative processes. So I think that let's commend government. It is too early to want to read some unnecessary politics into it. I heard from the beginning, my brother said actually questioning why national security should be involved in this. And I think that sometimes we would have to have a better appreciation of the scope of national security. Okay, it is not just a certain individual politically appointed to do. It is a whole establishment. Okay, and our security hinges on how they're able to do their work. So if it is for purposes of politics, we want to always run down institutions. We're not helping ourselves.
But it is amazing how national security can clear an impersonator to travel on the ticket of Ghana. That's not.
No, that is what I'm saying. That is what I'm saying. It had nothing to do with national security.
It had to do with those who travel.
Not at all. If you listen to the chairman of the Ghana Olympic Committee, he said that he takes absolute responsibility because he believes they actually took their eyes off the management. That is why he said just this morning, driving to your studio, I heard him speak on one or two radio stations, and he actually accept responsibility.
Okay, I'm grateful. Let me go to Sweeney. But Sweeney, the minority indeed questioned why national security involvement. Now, the president's suspension of the deputy minister and those involved in the whole process, perhaps is it the beginning of a proper investigations?
Well, once again, good morning to you. Good morning to Kudus. It's good to have him share this platform. It's also refreshing to be here. Let me say good morning to our viewers as well, especially from my constituency, Tamale North. And let me start by saying that as much as this whole episode is embarrassing, it is also laughable. I followed some of the reports that suggested that in one instance, a contingent that was supposed to be a disability contingent made up of people who were dumb started singing and dancing when they arrived at the place. You also will have followed the reports that suggested that about 50 people were presented as journalists when indeed they could not even tell who the president of the GFA is or GOC, and could not even write their own names. Just so embarrassing. And this is one other international embarrassment in our trophy board. I mean, if we have a board that displays our trophies, this is another international embarrassment that can be pinned on that board. And it's not something that any Ghanaian should be very happy about. And I think that the government handling of this so far has not been very impressive. I see some hasty attempts at heaping praises on the president for suspending the deputy minister and two others. I wonder why that should attract such hasty commendations when this matter has, been with us for over a week now without the president or any member of government making a very strong statement on it. And if you have listened to the Deputy Minister of Sports, very confident that he will be cleared and reinstated. If you have listened to the other officers, speak of their innocence and how they are very confident that they will be cleared, you may be tempted to believe that if they are not only confident about their innocence, they possibly are also confident in the ability of the president and his government to always clear his appointees. We have a record of that. So
even before the investigations
there are two things.
Concluded?
You see, there are two things involved. They are either confident that they will be reinstated because they believe in their innocence, or they are confident in the ability of their president, who has cleared worse cases in the past, to clear them. So I really,
worst cases.
Yes. I mean, for example,
well, that's what he thinks.
For example, I'll give you an example. In this particular case, we are yet to hear allegations of any suspected loss of state funds. Allegations of suspected loss of state funds. All we know is about visa racketeering, and maybe some people may have benefited through that by way of fleecing maybe these people who were bent on traveling abroad. But we have not yet listened to any report that suggested loss of state funds, unless it eventually the investigation eventually reveals that these 50 people were actually sponsored by the state. And I suspect they were. About 50 of them, if they are going as journalists, they would have been sponsored by the state. And so the question of you know, prudent use of state resource can come in. But we have cases like the Bost scandal. In fact, the Bost scandals. Now there are two. Do you get it? And you have clearance from national security.
The Bost generated scandals.
The Bost scandals.
The actual scandals.
Do you get it? Is it we have the bond scandal.
What is the bond scandal?
You know, that's the Kudus. I think I could have interjected.
Kudus, you allow him.
Thank you. So I mean, the Commission for Human Rights and Administrative Justice is in court today. If there was no scandal uncovered by Shraj, I don't think the finance minister would have bothered to go to court.
So it is not an allegation, that's what you mean?
No, the report is there. The report is being challenged in court.
Right, so
the report is there that indeed some wrongdoing or possible wrongdoing may have taken place. The report is there, so it's a scandal. So I'm saying that, but in all these cases, in fact, what the president has done after all these things, you know, were discussed and thoroughly examined, went to Parliament House in his State of the Nation address to flow them funds, like we say in our colloquial language, and to describe them as assets to the nation. So I'm saying it's too early. If the president says I've suspended the people, and the people are saying we are confident we are coming back, and you have this history of, you know, the man who is, you know, doing the suspension, why are you in a hurry to think that anything good is going to come out of this investigation? Then again, I wonder why it is just the deputy minister and not the minister. You're talking about the Minister of Sports, and you're talking about collective responsibility, and you're talking about the head of the ministry. Are you saying that all these things happened because, I mean, on the blind side of the minister?
Could you say he chairs that coordinating committee?
Fantastic, fantastic. So he chairs it. Right. So he has oversight. He has oversight. Right. Fantastic. He has also provided a delegatus non protest delegari. I'm sure you know that. Yeah. So if it was a delegated authority, he cannot be held wholly responsible for everything that goes wrong.
He has not been held wholly responsible.
Yes, he's been suspended.
He's the only one suspended.
So he should have,
the substantive.
Exactly, the substantive should have been suspended with him because he delegated. And I just told you, delegatus non-protest delegari. I mean, once he was delegated, if he didn't do anything wrong, as a chairman, and it's just because it was his responsibility, then you don't have to discipline him in the manner that you have. You don't have to. But if you say because he was a chairman and maybe he didn't do anything wrong, but who owns the ministry? So you can say that the ministry is also, someone is in charge of the ministry. So you don't have to suspend the minister too because he has necessarily done something wrong, but because he was also supposed to oversee the activities of the ministry, if that is the argument you are making. So I'm saying that, look, I still do not understand why some so-called, you know, neutral voices, even though some of us know they are not, are in that hurry as usual to commend the president for no results achieved yet. Because this is a normal procedure that, you know, one expects any leader to take anyway. And that has been done, you know, over the years. Really? Once there is an allegation of wrongdoing, you either ask the person to step aside for investigations to commence, or you commence investigation even with the person at post. And when the results show that the person, I mean, at least if you get, what do you call it, prima facie case, then you proceed with further action. And that is why we in the minority are saying that there's a blueprint. Let's, you know, take this out of the arena where there will be possible suspicion of some underhand dealings to clear the names of these people involved, as we have witnessed in the past, and do a bipartisan, you know, inquiry into this matter and make it public. Even if we cannot do a bipartisan investigation into it, let the president appoint people of integrity, like we have witnessed before in this country, to sit openly in the public and invite all these people for the Ghanaian people to know what really, really happened in Gold Coast.
Okay.
That is the blueprint. That is how to fight corruption. Throw light on it and let everybody know what really happened. And at the end of the day, the remedial actions that will be taken can be taken and should be taken so that the people of Ghana will see that indeed you have a leader who is ready to bite the bullet and who is not ready to shield any wrongdoing or any of his appointees if they are culpable of any wrongdoing.
All right, I'm grateful.
Can I make a quick one? Or
a quick one, just about 2 minutes.
Yes. You know, he created a certain scenario that is absurd, and I'll point it out.
Quickly.
You see, he said that why Pius and not the minister? If you overstretch his position, it could actually equally mean that why Pius not the president? Because
that's fine. That's
so
fine
the president should have been suspended.
The president is responsible for this because he appointed them.
There are rules and responsibilities, okay? The minister sits in chair over the whole of the ministry.
Right.
But there are related activities within the ministry. So as and when he decides who to chair a particular occasion or activity, anything that comes out of the organization, the person delegated ought to be answering.
So he gets report.
Oh yes, so this is part of the processes of actually getting. Mind you, this is not a disciplinary procedure.
What do you mean is that he can't obstruct investigations?
Absolutely, because he had nothing to do with the organization. His deputy was in charge. His deputy is being.
He has nothing to do. He would have been from time
the deputy is the chair of the organization. The deputy is the. If you're talking about
your point,
is he negligent? Because is he a negligent minister?
Absolutely not. But look, he has created a certain platform. I don't know whether you've realized the platform he's creating. He's creating a basis that if the investigation doesn't come out with the result that they expect, they will throw it away.
What do you think they expect? What result do you think they expect?
They expect nothing but something that would incriminate a politician related to the government. Because like I said, if you know the organization, you realize that Ghana Olympic Committee is distinct from government.
But what result do you expect?
Oh, nothing but fairness.
Okay.
Nothing but fairness.
I'm okay with that. Let me touch on this story quickly. Now, Times has a story here. Now, former Trade and Industry Minister Dr. Kwasi Gabra has stated that the much-touted unity work by the NDC has not achieved its intended purpose. The largest opposition party embarked on the work after its defeat in the 2016 general elections. Now, some party executives and ex-President Mahama have been addressing the gatherings. It is seen as one of the main activities to help reorganize the NDC and unify the grassroots of the party to help recapture power. Now, after Dr. Spio Gabra's interview on TV3, the national organizer of the party, Kofi Adams, has hit back at Dr. Spio Gabra, describing his claim as false. He says that he thinks it is false, and I've told these groups many times that they should not stop. They should stop peddling falsehood. The fact is that it is not being financed by the national headquarters. Doesn't mean it is not a party program. He goes on to say that in the past, some supporters of another flag bearer aspirant have raised concerns about the party's refusal to allow flag bearer hopefuls to address supporters. Alhaji Suni, let me quickly come to you. Now, Dr. Spio Gabra says that the unity works are not unifying. Kofi Adams says it is not the case. What do you think?
Well, maybe before I comment on that, just a little residual matter on this previous discussion we just had. We have heard from the reports from the media that indeed 2 lists went to the embassy for visas.
The visas, right.
One from the Ghana Olympic Committee and the other from the Ministry of Sports. So to say that the Ministry of Sports had nothing to do with it, it is solely organized by theGhana Olympic Committee. It's another reason.
Let's move on.
Wait, can I finish the sentence? Can I finish the sentence? Right. If you catch me mid, good. So it is these reports are part of the reasons why there is a need for us to have that bipartisan public inquiry into this matter, so we can establish the truth or otherwise. Now, moving on to the unity works of the NDC. I think we are left with the last one also that is supposed to happen in the Upper East region. I agree with Kofi Adams, and I do so because I have participated in at least 2 of the walks, and I also was privy to how even the whole idea of a walk, you know, came about. And if you listen to the former president, John Dramani Mahama, the last time we had the walk in the Upper West region, he commended the party, you know, elders and supporters in the Upper West region for solely financing, you know, that activity that took place in the Upper West region, and indicated that not even a penny came from him or from the party headquarters. And that has been the spirit of these walks. The regions own the walks, and whatever support anybody wants to give is taken with gratitude. And so for me, I find it intriguing that a party vehicle that was put on the road to energize and, you know, bring about some level of confidence in the grassroots is not supported by all, but seen as some, as, you know, a means to deny them their, what do you call it, aspirations of leading the party one day. You see, I had a friend who was a pilot. He told me a story I've not verified about how commanders of the Air Force will command, you know, pilots to fly anytime one plane, you know, aircraft crashes. That anytime there's an accident in the Air Force and a plane crashes, the commander will command the rest of the pilots to fly. And that is a way of bringing about, I mean, raising morale so that the pilots are not, you know, threatened by that accident to lose their confidence to fly. The NDC went into an election very confident of winning in 2016, and the plane crashed, and people were down-spirited. They were indoors and unable to think of the way forward for the party. And in that state, confusion started. The blame game was getting out of hand. The insults on each other and against each other was peaking. From the national to the grassroots, people were blaming each other for whatever reasons. So, some group of people, I must commend here Kojo Bonsu, the former mayor of Kumasi, and our brother Joshua Kamba, who is the deputy national organizer. The two of them didn't just allow the discussion to remain in the group, but decided to move out to do something that will bring our party out. Because remember that even in defeat, the leader of the party, then President Mahama, urged members of the party to walk with their chests out because the party had done well, not only for our democracy, by the way it conceded defeat as an incumbent government, but also by the numerous developments that we have initiated and completed in many cases.
What is the position of the losing candidate when the party is in the position, but per your constitution?
The losing candidate, if he is not a certain president, becomes one of the Council of Elders, members of the Council of Elders. But if he is if he was a sitting president, apart from being a member of the Council of Elders, he still comes with that image of a former president. And the former president, unfortunately for the NDC, we have 2 former presidents. So we know the respect and, you know, the approach that we have always used in dealing with our founder and former president.
Are those complaining of not being allowed to address the unity walks making a legitimate complaint?
I don't think so. And I'll say why. Our party has rules and structures. And like I have said, apart from former President Rawlings being our founder, he's also always enjoyed the status as a former president in the party. And our constitution recognizes the role of former ministers and how far they can go. And also, by practice, we recognize the role of former presidents and how far they can go. So, if you have a party program and there is a slot for former presidents to speak, are you going to say that because you suspect that one of the former president, because there's no evidence that the man is going to run again, you just suspect. So are you going to say because you suspect that the man will be your opponent, should there be a raise? When the man is given a responsibility to discharge as former president of the party, you should also be given a role. Let's be logical.
I'll come back to you. Let me go to Kudus.
So that's why I think it is not right.
I'll come back to you, Honorable Suhini. Kudus, the NDC unity works and what it is bringing out as far as the unity of the party is concerned. What is your take on the fact that some party supporters are insisting that this unity works is indeed not uniting the party?
Thank you very much. I think, first of all, it is even the paradox that intrigues me, frankly. This is a party that touted so much of unity and cohesion just about 2 years ago. Today, they are all over trying to unite in some working activity. That's the paradox. But I think that it is an open secret that it is a certain Mahama campaign agenda. Okay, absolutely. I'm not saying it. Their own party people have said it. Dr. Ekos Pirogabra is not the first person to say that. Indeed, Honorable Bagwin has equally had the opportunity to lament, okay, on the same issue. So it certainly cannot be the thinking or a certain sour grapes of some individuals within their party, but probably a genuine concern. And I think that NDC and John Mahama increasingly have developed a certain penchant for not listening to good counsel, okay? And I think that the way they actually lost the election in 2016 ought to be a certain signal and message, but obviously they're not listening. And so they are equally heading to a certain a wall again if John is actually re-elected, okay, or put together again as the candidate for the party in the 2020 election. Currently, it is not in that at all that if they go for primaries, John would win. Why? Because he still controls a lot of the pairs, he still controls a lot of the constituencies. And some of these executives, including the Asediun KTS, okay, are trying to use his image to organize their election and still be relevant within the executive structure of the party. So what is happening is not necessarily, as Suhini put it, to really awaken the morale and confidence of the rank and file. Absolutely so not at all.
Party member, but you know why we do what
well,
we do.
That is his view.
NDC is a public property. NDC is a public property. It's a public property. Okay, your activities are out there, reflective in the mirror.
I don't blame him. I blame our party members who listen to their advice and they are thinking more than they listen to party members. So when they do the analysis and create something in the soup, then some of our party members will also believe them instead of believing the party members themselves.
No, because the party member like you is speaking against it.
It's ridiculous.
Gabra is equally in good standing just as you.
No, so he's in a better standing than I am.
Fine. So yours can be sacrosanct away from his. Okay. So if you agree that he probably holds a certain pedigree within the party than you, then the believability in what he says will be higher than yours. Okay. And he's complaining. He's saying that this is a charade. Okay, it is not actually giving an equal and even platform to anybody and everybody within the party who aspires. The fact that John wants to come out and contest is not in doubt. You remember immediately after
even though he has not said anything.
Oh, why? I think, look, there are certain trajectories that can actually lead you to a certain conclusion. You don't need somebody to come and tell you that there is a C after B, okay, in the recitation of the alphabets. A, B certainly follows with C. If you remember, just after they lost election, the brother, Ibrahim Mama, told the whole world that his brother is going to retire and would not be contesting the next election. It took Omani Buama, who is a kingpin, who is actually a critical part of the inner core of President Mahama, to come and say that he cannot decide for their party. John never spoke to it. In fact, I don't blame, and I'm not too surprised of the silence of ex-President John Mahama, because in his own book, he actually told us, you remember that book, My Fair Coup d'Etat, he told us that decision is actually a very difficult thing for him to take most of the time. So in issues of this nature, you will not be surprised if he's not speaking to it. But like I said, Ekos Piographer is not the person to have started this complaint. Bagbin has done that. Stephen Atubiga, if you remember, said same and said that even on platforms, you are muscled. If you decide to dare the consequences and appear, you are not given the opportunity to speak. And somehow, in the hierarchy of the organization, the most important person normally speaks last. And John Mahama is normally the person who comes to wind up in the discussion. Meanwhile, he's not supposed to be the leader. He's former president, but he's not the leader. You are talking here of an equal opportunity for all. In the practice of equal opportunity for all, there's no primus inter pares. Okay? Everybody must be treated equally and same. But if you now have, because of his status, you certainly are giving him a certain advantage over the rest, which shouldn't be so. And that is why Dr. Piographer is complaining. In fact, I listened to Honorable Nia Masana Mwale. He equally complained bitterly about this and called it a charade. And that is why I'm saying that there's a certain paradox in all of this. There's a certain, there's in fact a manifestation of a gargantuan confusion in the camp of the NDC. It is not in doubt. It is
I'm grateful.
Right.
Good enough, grateful. Let me get you to react for 2 minutes and we'll move on to this.
You see, my brother was talking about unity. Unity is not a fixed state. Unity is, when you talk about unity, it's fluid. It gets stronger, it gets weaker.
Okay.
So you go into an election with a united front. You lose the election and the bitterness of the loss threatens to create disunity in the party. And you begin a walk to strengthen the unity that already exists. What is so difficult to understand about that? Can I move on? Now, the truth of the matter is that, right, the former president, hate him or love him, is still very popular with our grassroots. And so at these walks, when you find people, even in Honorable Alban Bagbin's t-shirts, chanting his name, you can't blame him. Because in WA, people were part of the walk. In Honorable Alban Bagbin's t-shirt, nobody stopped them from walking. Again, if you go to the Greater Accra region, where we had our walk, I saw many of the people who want to be aspirants. And I want to assure my brother today that I want to assure you. I want to assure you.
You said
today,
I'm not part of you.
You see, and anybody who thinks that there is, that I will agree with him, I want to assure him that I'll agree with him. And anybody who expresses the issue, who expresses concern about disparity in the treatment of aspirants.
Great.
When the party opens nominations or declares, and President Mahama declares to also become an aspirant, and he is treated differently by the party compared to the other aspirants, I'm telling them that I'll agree with them. That is not fair.
Okay.
But until that is done, he remains a former president. And any party activity that allocates a role to a former president, and he is the only one available at that point, he will perform that role. But when we have a program and they say this is for aspirants, and they don't allow aspirants to speak and allow he alone to speak, I will say that is unfair. And I will agree with those who say that it is not fair to treat him differently. If he becomes an aspirant, he must be treated.
Can I provide you this?
No, you don't need to. Let's wrap up quickly on this one. This a young lady's interview with CNN, Moesha's interview, and the issues that are falling out. Now, the Palava newspaper has a story. The economy is so hard. And if you read the story, it says that she said that, and she told Christian Amampo, you can't even make enough money as a woman here because even if you want to get an apartment in Ghana, you pay 2 years in advance. And I just started work. Where will I get money to pay for an apartment for 2 years? The Finder has a story that says that the economy grew 8.5% in 2017. Now, the quick question to ask, let me start this conversation with you, is to this issue of rent in Ghana, which keeps giving people headache. In fact, students living in hostels are confronted with the same challenge. Moesha has received a lot of bashing for what she said, which might not have gone down well with certain people. Is the issue of rent not the reality?
Yes, the issue of rent indeed is a reality, and I feel sad for it because I think that the limited knowledge I have relative to this suggests that the law actually abhors the collection of rent beyond 6 months. But we know landlords are out there taking 1 year, 2 years, sometimes 3 years. I think that our institutions would have to work, okay? If the law says that you cannot charge or expect more than 6 months, it should actually be applicable. But if you listen to the lady, and that is where I had my greatest disappointment. Yes, I did. I'm told that this is not the first time she's actually making such a position. She did it on another platform. But I thought that on a bigger scale, like CNN, with Christiana Amampo, okay, giving her pedigree and the fact that she has a lot of following, this should not be something that should be told of Ghana. Regrettably, you see Palava having to do politics with it. The lady didn't say economy is so hard. That's not what she said. That's not what she said. That's not what she said. Look, she was speaking to a topic. She was speaking to a topic of the program, okay, that has to do with a woman and how they earn their livings and the reasons for which they go into relationships. That's why she talked about people who would take care of her rent because she will not be able to pay 2 years given where she works. People who probably be able to give her car to facilitate the transportation and those things. Those who have to take care of her parents and those things. She did not specifically talk about the economy. Not at all. She was speaking to a certain topic presented to her, and I felt that was absolutely unfortunate because at the time that we expect to have Ghana corporate being sold out there for the collective good of all of us, this is not something that should be speaking up. Okay,
Kudis, I'll come back to you. Let me go to Johnny for some comment. Johnny, good morning once again.
Absolutely, good morning, right. My company in the UK Stars offices. A popular celebrity by name Moesha, having access to a huge international platform of CNN, could have used that to project the image of Ghana, but decided to paint Ghana black. It's very unfortunate, and we shouldn't waste time on her reckless comments. But then are serious issues in Ghana that needs to be discussed. It's her body, and let her do whatever she wants to do with it, and at the judgment day, she will give an account to her creator. Good morning to you all. The government needs to put in place some measures that will prevent the youth from the use of tramadol. There are a lot of guys in my area whose lives are now looking miserable due to the use of this tramadol. Please, government should do something. Eric J from WA. Good morning, TV3. Let me be straight here. Ghanaians are hypocrites. Listen, if a lady can actually sleep with a lecturer for marks, why can't the same lady sleep or date to support their lives? Good morning, Newday crew. The FDA has got a big task to perform because the youth nowadays don't even use the 120 milligram tramadol anymore. because it does not make them feel dazed. They are now inhaling super glue and solutions to feel dazed. The FDA should look into this matter seriously because the youth are now investing in the wrong projects. Max from Sunyani, thank you very much. Say great day. We love you back. Ayu Farouk in Tamale says, good morning to you all. For me, I don't blame the actress Moesha's views. Ghana's economy is not well. Let's face the facts. This government is trying too hard to scrap single spine salary through hourly calculated salary, as if selling the country for $20 million is not enough for them to chop. Ghanaians are watching with eagle eyes. Shaggy Nima sent that one. We'll do the birthday messages later, but it says, well, Keba in Ablekuma says, good morning. I'm congratulating President Akufo-Addo for taking such a bold decision to suspend his own deputy minister. I think if things are done this way and proper investigations are conducted in any of our institutions, it will serve as a deterrent to corrupt-minded people. Honorable Samson Kwachi Bosomtri Akwadamako says, corruption at the sports ministry is becoming uncontrollable. Thumbs up to the President of the Republic for the suspension at the sports ministry. Thorough investigation and prosecution needs to be done. If necessary, Mr. President, you have really buttressed the adage, charity begins at home. Man of transparency. You say, good morning, TV3, thank you for making my day. Lovely for such a nice tune from Signal Band. Okay, so AU Farouk Tamale says, good morning to you all. The suspension of the deputy sports minister is a simple cover-up tactics to cover the dubious corruption cases engulfed some of his appointees. But this super incompetent act by the president cannot divert our minds from the U.S. military deal. Ghana first demo Tamale loading on the 21st of April. Dr. Abedi Kwadaso, aka Big Joe Shoes, says, good morning, champion host. Thank God Deputy Sports Minister Honorable Pius Hajide and NSA boss Robert Safo-Mensah have been suspended by His Excellency President Akufo-Addo. A giant step towards achieving a Ghana with a nationalistic mindset. Ghana is surely working again. DJ Omale Wayose Ngoso said, Nana has done well in sacking Honorable Robert Safo-Mensah and Deputy Sports Minister. They've not been sacked, it is suspended. Unless Mahama, who gave Yamin and Elvis Free Ankara other appointments after Brazil World Cup saga. Thank you. Good morning, finally. I want to use this platform to wish my son a happy birthday. We'll do that for you. James Poco Navrungo, we'll do all the birthday messages afterwards. Right, I thank you very much for your
Johnny, thank you once again. So wrap up on this one for me. Okay. He's suggesting that the lady was not specifically referring to the economy.
You see, right, I think our friends in government are becoming too defensive and too politically wired. Yesterday, I posted this video on my social media handle, Facebook, and I wrote the question, economy, with a video, economy, and come and see them making well, that I'm politicizing the matter. But look at the way the CNN captioned it, and just read the CNN headline.
I have read it.
Yes, if he's saying that, listen, the CNN that did the interview says, economy is so bad, you need a man to take care of you. Moesha tells CNN. So who is politicizing it? No.
Okay. There is not there.
No.
So it could be.
Economy.
So it says economy. Well,
it could be referred to her economy.
No, wait. Now the video is there. We are not quoting out of context. If you listen to the video, the lady says the economy is hard and you have to do listen to the video. She says it. But you see, when I even posted that video, in fact, Bright, to be honest with you, I wasn't thinking politically. I was disgusted. I was embarrassed that somebody like her thinks that if the economy is hard, that is the way to survive. I was very, very disgusted that somebody like that we call a role model thinks that when the economy is hard, the way to survive is to become a mistress. But because our friends in government are so politically wired and so defensive, and they know the reality that indeed the economy is hard, and they promise to make it better, they think you are coming after them.
The economy grew by 8.5% in 2017.
The economy grew by 5%. I could debate that. But how did your economy grow? How much do you pay for electricity now? How much do you pay for water? How much do you pay for petrol today? what are the prices of goods on the market? Apart from even that, just Google. I beg you, I beg you, you have an Android phone here. Just Google. President Mahama, economy will grow by 8% in 2017. Google, you'll see it. He said that in 2016 and gave the reasons why the economy will grow by 8.3%. The building blocks were laid. He said that. Google, you'll see it. In 2016, President Mahama told Ghanaians that he had done the work that will make the economy grow. Apart from President Mahama, the Economic Intelligence Unit, it's a respected think tank across the world. Check their reports for 2016. They predicted this growth of 8% and actually indicated where the growth was going to come from. Investments in oil. So what has changed? Okay. So I'm simply saying that our friends should tone down and let's discuss Moesha well. When we say the economy is hard, it's because she said it. But I don't believe that if the economy is hard, her way of taking care of herself is what should be appropriate. Is what should be appropriate. Then again, you find some people taking offense about her comments and saying she has insulted Ghanaian women. Why? Are all the Ghanaian women mistresses? No. Are all the hard-working women mistresses? No. So why are they claiming the insult? She says she's a mistress.
So
to be a mistress,
talking on behalf of mistresses.
Maybe if you are a mistress, you can take offense. Okay. That's what I think. If you are a mistress and you know you are hardworking, but you are a mistress, but you are very hardworking, then you can take offense. But if you are not a mistress, I don't think
you don't need to take offense.
I think that we just have to let our young ones understand that when they see these people on Snap and on Instagram post all kinds of expensive lifestyles, it is not the way to go. It is not. Okay. They shouldn't use their way of getting the kind of life they are living.
I'm grateful for it. Could you just 1 minute 30 seconds and
very quick one. If I go to take a personal loan at an interest rate of 23% today, to pay a loan I took 2 years ago at an interest rate of 32%, the economy comparatively cannot be hard.
Okay.
The economy certainly would be doing well today. Well, if you predict something, it doesn't necessarily mean that
I'm sure your party people in Tamale know your economy better.
But your party deliberate.
Your party people
was there no prediction? Was there no prediction in 2016 that your mama would win the election by Ben Efson? Was there no prediction?
There was a prediction by EIU.
Did he win?
That EIU that he was.
But I'm saying that predictions are not necessarily things that you can hold cast in iron. It takes the individuals. It takes the managers to be able to bring their skill to bear.
Your economy is better.
I've just given you an indices. If you can go for a personal loan at an interest rate of 23%,
those who are stopping the construction of the 2 years ago, stopping the construction of the gutter.
He knows that he's
all right. Gentlemen, I'm grateful for your Friday.
Construction of the gutter. One small to you tell them the economy is good.
Mohammed Abdul Kudus is a member of the government communication team. Honorable Alhaji Suini is a member of the NDC and member of parliament for the Tamale North constituency. We are grateful you sent in your comments. It's a Friday, keep them coming. The Signal Band will be back to entertain us as we wrap up for the weekend. Stay with us right here on Newday.
And let's talk about something very interesting. Of course, Talented Kids Season 9 is ongoing, but there has been some controversy surrounding it. And we're joined by Uncle Benedict. He's a judge there. And also our famous DJ Switch. Good morning, gentleman and lady.
Good morning.
So let's just go straight into it. Uncle Benedict, there has been some controversy because a group was evicted and they seem to be displeased with the decision that was taken. But walk us through when it comes to Talented Kids. Who takes the ultimate decision of who goes, who stays, and based on what?
Well, thank you very much. Talented Kids, as the name suggests, it's a show, a reality show for kids. The sole objective is to discover talent, nurture them, and then launch them into stardom. So it is not by votes as done in other reality shows, because we don't want some kids to be disadvantaged because they may not have people who can vote or put in a lot of votes for them. So it is solely by judges' decision. And since the inception of the show in 2009, it's been like that till date.
So if we may ask, what made this particular group think that anything different had been done for or against them?
Yes, I suspect perhaps they may have had some interaction with other people, because we have chaperones, we have trainers, we have other people who are associated with the show.
Right.
You know, they are, I mean, behind the scenes people. There are times these people arrogate certain powers, so they go out there, give people assurances that, well, look up to me, I'm the one who can ensure you're continuous still on the show. But it is never true. We do this thing independently, just the judges, 100% judges decision. Not even influence from TV3 management or any other persons. It is solely, and we do that by a set criteria.
Okay.
We have a score sheet. If you watch the show, we always observe the children critically. Audience and viewers may just be having fun, they are watching everything, but we are there looking at each and everything. For instance, if someone mounts a platform to sing, we are looking at the choice of song, your vocal range for the song, the tone, the quality of your vocal tone, you know, your stagecraft, the dynamics you put into your, and then, you know, a whole lot. The audience engagement, your costume, and a whole lot goes into that. Now, if you come in as a dancer, we are looking at what are you bringing on board. If you are just coming to do kogon, boy, and shoki, and all the regular dance, then you are not a star dancer. We want somebody who will put in a lot of innovation and creativity. Let's see the dynamics. How many sets of moves do you have within the time and space allotted? If you come in and you just do the regular stuff, yes, audience may be enjoying what you're doing, viewers may enjoy it, but this is a show, this is a competition. We want you to prove that indeed you have something extraordinary to make you the star dancer, and not just an ordinary dancer.
Very well. DJ Switch has been nodding her head throughout your whole speech, and so for you being in the house and every time hearing Uncle Benedict and the other judges teach you what to do, how did it feel? I mean, do you agree with people that maybe they're harsh?
Okay. A time last year, Talenta Kids, when Uncle Benedict give a comment, they think Uncle Benedict does not like us.
Right.
But he's the one teaching us, like, you came to sing.
Okay.
No, your song is not correct. You need to use a different tone. But they will be feeling harsh, as if he has given a bad comment. But that's how they can teach you.
Right. So you thought their comments came to help you become a better person and ultimately become the star that you are. But you've also been talking to BBC. Tell me a little about that.
Okay, BBC. They came, they heard about me, they heard about my talent, and they wanted to see it with their own eyes.
And so you demonstrated some on the turntables for them and they were happy?
Yeah.
Nice. Anyway, guys, we have very little time, but we've been delving into the Talented Kids issue and some controversies that sparked up of people thinking that some judges were being too harsh to the children when they passed comments, and also another being that people thought a group had been evicted, I mean, not based on the standards that the judges had set or some influence from outside. But Uncle Benedict has been explaining to us that judges make absolute decisions on who to evict based on solely what the children come there to perform, or, as they say, show off their talent. So that's been all from here. We still have more on Newday. Stay with us.
Yami ni Mombasa ni mo Real Madrid, Chelsea supports Fenerbahce. Someone no more winning team. Mende ye kamoto Methodist team. Ehu ada asita na ye slow them over. To God be the glory. Anuntina hallelujah. We know him na Satan in there. Aye, hallelujah. We know him na Satan in there. Gospel mote, and the gospel flow activated. She abon somebody naked. Mo then you make the upper hand. It's your special song for the. It's my mama was fancy. Now when I magic malama jenko kori, nyame mama will close marking. Nana mo bodo no people will be done the crache. Na me so me nyame aho fell. Nyame onya achel. Onye nipa na we dey atel. Na me kire nyame on babble. Opion meful. Nyame on for work and diabol. So bi anye ni hanky na ye him. Kia ma fa nyame anaka bejim. Ha Satan na slow down over. God be the glory to. Until hallelujah. We know him na Satan in there. Aye, hallelujah. We know him na Satan in there. I said, I don't feel when you are to I'm at the beat of my gaze vary. Are you true? Satan, you're John Ati. Ah, Yamia will Illuminati. Yamia Etofantina Tedagati. Ah, Yamia Nimo Bassa Nimo Real Madrid, Chelsea supporter Fanabachi. Ah, Tamino will winning team. Mending here, Kamoto Methodist team. Ehada, Satan, you slow down, Waba. God be the glory to. Anuntina, hallelujah. When you know when you know him. When you know when you know him. When you know when him, na Satan in Arian. Aje, hallelujah. When you know when you know when.
And I told you, we're going to get a lot more of this on Newday today. I told you before the start of the show, I'm sure you're enjoying a Yisem and a super band right there. But I've also been joined by three gentlemen that you can't miss. One whose name has become synonymous with live band, and he's the Achisa General. He couldn't just help but tap his feet. Samini, welcome.
Thank you very much.
Did you want to join them?
I was moved, I was moved, but I was just behaving myself, saving my energy.
I hear you for tomorrow.
Night,
And
yeah.
Samini is not here as long. He's here with the man who controls communications at Charterhouse, that production giant putting together the 19th Vodafone Ghana Music Awards. In fact, they've done it for 19 consecutive times. George Niamakwe is here. Should I add the other one? A.K.A. Pablo.
No,
I just did.
No, but it's okay. I mean, how can I be Pablo?
Mr. Francis Doku is head of MG Digital. They manage 3 News.com and all other things, digital media general, is an integral part of the VGM as well. Chief, welcome. Good morning.
Thank you so much.
Lord Doku, they call him. That's his name. So, gentlemen, tomorrow is the big day. George, I'll start with you. What is there to expect?
Awards, basically. Really, that's what it's about. Expect a night where we get to celebrate the hardworking musicians of Ghana, those that have worked very hard, especially in the year under review. And of course, we get to honor some legends as well. There are 3 honorary categories, and for me, the one that I'm looking forward to most is the Lifetime Achievement honors, because for the first time in the history of the scheme, if I'm not mistaken, it's going to a woman.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay, okay, it's all right. Let me not be tempted. Samini, the reviews out there, in fact, when you came, I took a photograph. The reviews out there has been spectacular following that performance at Cape Coast. What is there tomorrow? You are performing.
Yeah.
What is there?
Well, for the VGMA stage, it's always an opportunity to reaffirm the fact that you're an established artist in Ghana. So every time you're called there, you have to give your A game. So I'm there to represent myself to the fullest and to make sure I give Ghanaians the reason to keep pushing me and keep encouraging me.
Mr. Doku, the giant partnership between Media General and Charterhouse has made all the waves. Has it been what you expected?
Yes, of course, Johnny. It's been what we expected. I mean, we realized and recognized the VGMA as the biggest content, entertainment-wise. And so we decided to associate with it. And I think that over the period that we've been talking about it, you know, promoting the VGMA, we realized that it's gone very well for our audience on TV, on our digital platform, and on radio. So yes, we think that up to now, we have done what we have to do, and Charterhouse have also supported us to make sure that the partnership works.
Ahead of this conversation, we put out a couple of tweets and all of that. Their concern was that, well, at some point during the nominees jam and all of that, there was a break-in transmission for some 30 minutes news, and that's been a concern of the people. Tomorrow you're going to show it. Are we going to break?
No, we're not breaking for news tomorrow. I mean, this is it. This is the big one. This is the climax of everything that we've done over the last 2 months or so. And so we realized that our audience would want to follow every minute of the VGMA from the red carpet, which starts at 7. And let me say again, it starts at 7. And we've told Charterhouse that we want that to happen, that Usually we announce the time and then it doesn't start because many people wouldn't have been in the auditorium. But we're asking that whatever it is, no matter who comes, we want to start at 7 so that we can make the time to the end. And so we're having the news tomorrow from 6 to 7.
Okay.
I mean, I'm sure for the first time, TV3 News will start at 6 o'clock and make it to 7 so that we can start a red carpet from 7 o'clock until the show ends. And we've been given assurance that it will run smoothly, you know, and it won't drag too much also. Yes.
George, that means this is very important for News 360, the multiple award-winning news program, to move from 7 to 6. It's big. How are the tickets flying around?
If you're able to find tickets anywhere to purchase by close of day today, you're a miracle worker.
Say that again.
If you're able to find tickets to purchase anywhere by close of day today, you're a miracle worker. Because I am sure the way the tickets are flying, I'm sure by 3 p.m. latest today, I'm sure tickets would have run out because as of yesterday, there were very, very few tickets to sell. Very, very few tickets. I'm sure by 3 p.m. today, tickets would have sold out. So if you're out there and you intend to be a part of this event, then you...
Do you realize how many hearts you're breaking this morning?
I'm not breaking hearts. I haven't said they are finished. I said you have till 3 p.m. I haven't said they are finished. I said there are very few left. So you have till 3 p.m. to go get yours. And if you're interested, you just need to go get it now. I mean, if you visit any of the Nalem stores at all the malls, Accra, West Hills Junction, anywhere that there's Nalem, Osu Mall, and you enter there, you can grab your ticket. Or if you go to X-Men at East Legon or come to Charterhouse, you could get a ticket. And the early bird catches the first one.
Save yourself. Who's performing tomorrow?
Samini.
That's the big one. But who else is there tomorrow?
Samini, the musician who can stop a fight with music without breaking his flow, without breaking his act. But of course, the most decorated artist in the history of the VGMA, Sarkodie, is also on the stage. We've got Tiwa Savage is coming in from Nigeria. Nasty C is flying in from South Africa. We've got Miss V is on the stage. There's going to be, Prior is on the stage, or whatever is left of Prior is on the stage.
I think you need to clarify that. Are we having Priors, all three of them, or
just be at the venue? There will be a performance from Prior.
Whether 3, 2, or 1.
There'll be a Prior. You know, and then of course the new kids from the block, the Pride of the North, Fancy Gadam, Kidi Can Promise, Kwame Eugene, Kwesi Arthur, Efia, Miss Viadina, Akushie Jepong. It's a very, 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 very tall list with a surprise.
Samir, are you picking up anything tomorrow?
I am very hopeful.
Which one are you picking?
The reggae song of the year.
Reggae song, my own.
Yeah.
I see. Yeah. What's that lyrics again? What was it?
Say, you make me want to rearrange the alphabet. So I put you next to letter I. Take my heart, baby, carry go. If you leave me, baby, I go die.
Yeah, okay. That's what I was. No, minim. Minim. If I knew, I would have sung it. But Minim, my boss is here. I mean, how do you expect me to? But it's certainly going to be big tomorrow.
Hold on.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay. Okambra footage na no ye risi. Nisi mujre smile siri. Ompeni wansa mene no chili. Hey, me bibi ni brownie yeah. Golden tree chocolate yeah. Mintra totally each and every day me nyebidi oyoyi my own.
I have a question. The girl should operate chopper each and every day.
Okay. But if you had explained it, what's your favorite key? Because the band have indicated they want to play with you briefly. Which is your favorite key, so they can strike it down? Which is your favorite key? Nati Mabo key, give them the key. So it's going to be exciting tomorrow. Red carpet starts at 7. Yes, George. Last year,
the key.
Which one?
The key.
What is a digi key? George, last year the red carpet went agog. We saw Cinderella and her sisters. We saw Teletubbies. We saw Aibo Bole, Power Rangers, everybody else.
This year, you never know. A man point CNN might appear.
Say again, with Moisha in the mix? Have you invited Moisha?
Well, I think tomorrow, if Moisha steps on the red carpet, it will be the moment of the VGMA. I mean, I think she will shut down.
Doc, would you do us the honors of walking onto the red carpet with Moisha tomorrow, if you had a chance to?
Invite tomorrow. I mean,
yeah, we'll invite her. We'll invite her. I mean, because you see, the red carpet is exclusive to TV3.
Right.
After the red carpet, there'll be other channels, DSTV and all that we'll pick. But for the red carpet, it's exclusive to us. So anything to make it exciting, we will. And so, yeah, we'll discuss and see. We'll invite exclusively on the red carpet.
Somebody, anything you want to add before we go?
Guys, go out there, grab your tickets. It's limited tickets out there now, so make sure you grab yours before it's finished. And then also, everybody else that's been supporting, thanks for the support. Tomorrow is going to be awesome.
George, closing thoughts.
I'm itching to break a certain news, but I'll not break it yet.
Break
because,
it.
No, I can't break it. No,
you know Manchester is the best team. Samia, are you a Manchester fan? You are not. Okay, so
Billionaires
the
Club.
three of us are. You are not.
Billionaires Club.
I hope. Wait, which one?
Billionaires Club.
Barca.
That's right.
No, Blues.
Oh, come on.
Oh.
Of all the teams in the world, what sort of Disney is that?
Which blue? City or
Olympics? George, break the news.
Francis,
exclusivity. You know.
Yeah, maybe. Exclusivity. Well, yes, you're on TV3. Yes. We are your exclusive partner, you know. So you heard it here first.
Yes.
Yeah.
He started in the high grade family.
Okay.
He grew, matured, crossed over to establish BIM Nation, and tomorrow he's performing too.
Stoneboy is.
Yes, he is.
Wow. But I thought earlier I'd heard that.
Well, Stoneboy is performing.
Stoneboy is. Right. Wow. Because I know that the Cape Coast Jam had to be Stoneboy, and then Samini came in, he did his magic.
Funny enough, you know, Samini was always on that Cape Coast Jam.
Okay.
He knows, we had been talking long.
Okay.
He was not a replacement for Stoneboy.
Okay.
You understand? But where sometimes you like to hold some of the things to your chest. So,
okay.
You know.
But why did you do that to the people?
Which
you in particular, why did you do that
you
to
want to keep that surprise elements are good. I had to break this one here because you're official media
Of course.
partner.
So official,
right
Stoneboy is going to be on that stage tomorrow. Father and son are going to be there, interestingly. I've seen Magnum
so it's going to
and
be
his sons.
father, son, and son, because Kelvin Boy will also be performing because he won on Sunday.
All of it.
Grandfather.
So, grandfather. Francis, closing thoughts before we go.
Yeah, I think that tomorrow is music's biggest night. It will be exciting. We hope that most people can make it to the conference center. Right. But if you cannot, I mean, conference center can hold maybe up to about 2,000 people. Okay. But there are millions who would have to watch on TV3. Right. And listen on our radio stations, 3FM, Onya FM, and Connect FM in Takrady, and also on our social media channels. Right. It will be live stream on the TV3 channel and all our channels on Facebook, on Twitter, and then on YouTube as well.
Thank you very much, gentlemen. I wish you all the best. I mean, I wish you all the best. Signal band. You want to say something? Okay. Signal band. Samini, you didn't tell me your key. Because I want you to sing for my... It's Friday. It's live band Friday.
I mean, the songs, every song and the key you play.
So which one do you want to sing and which key do you want?
I'm usually comfortable around A, F, and F sharp.
Okay, so A, F, that's the range. Can you give me an F? That's easier too. It's the center. Okay, so chord. Men born it is already done. Okay, so chord and
key G.
All right. So that's it. Samini, show us some love. I want to see the legend perform. I want to hear him at least.
A bit of what he will do tomorrow.
Tomorrow, something. A taste of the cake.
Yeah, man, Mike.
All right.
Mike, no.
Please.
No, Mike, go ahead.
Take my baby, carry you. If you leave me, baby, I could die. They told us on the sister get it. Oh, Capra put the chin, I know you're racing. You say much that smile, city. Penny wants a minute, chilly. Oh, yeah, we the brownie, yeah. Golden tree chocolate, yeah. Ninja Tony, yeah. Each and every day, me every day. Oh, my own. The time I dey chase, I'm there no money, oh. My own. See my heart, Makoshito, I dey grind for my cake, my own. Like the air, I dey feel I'm for everywhere I dey, oh. My own. baby, come jump up for me. And empty kinda what's up in the air? What's up in the air? Under my lonely brown, I bet chat to me, yeah. Chat to me, girl. Hey, wait time make I carry you. Champagne and I will see Malibu. Hey, and nothing I eat it just for two. But now, don't me see baby. Hey, my own, yeah. My own, see my heart back when she talk. Hey, so many, oh yo, so many, yeah, early morning, and we live on Newday. So we say good morning to everybody today. It's Friday, feel okay to see us in our African wear, apart from him, yeah, but it's okay, everything is good and we all get him. Tomorrow is VJMS, so come out of your place and let's celebrate. Ghana music, oh yeah, cause that one, it be our own. The time of the taste of the nobody day. My own, boy, and cheat. Okay, Judge one bus on bass. Just get some rap. Mumbo below, Mr. Mumbo below. Somebody in the house with the Minimum not the vano, but see body be not the mammo. As a mention to a gentleman came a love. As a mention to a gentleman, he'll be Baba. But see minimum not the vano, but see minimum not the vano. As a mention to a gentleman came a love. Minimum not the vano, but see minimum not the vano. As a mention to a gentleman came in Baba. I didn't be friendly. Ebi so that's in the B. Nebi sa habante te kwa mo wana mumfa musu mingeniti. I didn't be some I think correct. No boost the energy for work. Yawa high no ni low grade minim do menu and ye red. And the scientific research is otiba asthma na cancer. Otiba epilepsy study a painkiller. Tediba bisa rasta for answer. And then the lawyers use doctors use such a police in Navy, so legalization is an issue. Minimum not the minimum not the as a mention to a gentleman came a love go. Minimum not the but minimum not the as a mention to a gentleman came a love go. And the boogie selection, the separate to the ratata. Some means say high grade, I chip up a silly wabaka. This tomboy si bim, meja bim on so that's a mother. Nasa Chris Brown beya down on no shut up for the shut up. Who knows the everybody? Nobody can stop. One man a high grade, the yoga see moya ya matches. So, I don't see you did your banner, you used to have told the first say Alabama Fiade. Now Rasta man check a crib in the fangina. But you see, hey, macho, money bay. And there was some thinking correct. And thinking correct. It is Rasta's meditation. See, they be allowed Rasta the bag. Rasta the bag, but we hear legalization. Hey, my high school. Feeling the strange, meeting for the last two. How many beats? I don't know who that one, two. Bakado Bama Nebano. I had the other lights too. Yeah, Bakado Mommy lead the real surveyor 4 hours. Tim from my eat because I get more powers. Say, Muhu Aboluba Muhu, a second Latin Boma Taida, that's to all cowards. Yeah.
Charlie, this is lovely, and that's the Western Regional General, Aisam. Many of the viewers out there thought you couldn't play a live band with a live band. Oh. This morning is a different story.
Oh yeah.
And that's the Signal Band, by the way, ladies and gentlemen. So, which is the new one we're promoting now?
Okay, I just dropped it.
No, use the microphone for me.
Yeah, I just dropped the new one with Kelsong. The title is Relation Plane.
Relation what?
Plane.
Musicians and the talents and the titles they give to their music. Yeah. So, in the next 5 years, and that's a template question, you've been in the trenches, now you've come out strongly. Where do we hope to see you?
okay, the true fact is we all don't know what will happen tomorrow. Actually, I can't predict what will happen in the next 5 years.
But you have a plan, don't you?
Sure.
What's the plan?
Most definitely, we all have that plan that in the next 5 years we're going to be one of the biggest stars out there. Like,
okay.
To explode everywhere, all around the world. But then we can't say at the end of the day, it's God. We are looking up to God. Right. You understand? But we all have the plans that we're going to excel. You know, we're going to be one of the greatest artists to hit in the whole world.
For example, somebody has a wedding coming up. They think that you play well with the Signal Band. They want to come and play. How expensive are you?
Talk to my manager.
The Signal Band, by the way, if you're having a function this weekend, you can call them on 027-086-9655. That's 027-086-9655. Your closing thoughts. Are we looking at any more collaborations? For example, with Samini or Stoneboy or Shatawale?
Yeah.
Or any of our sisters?
Yeah, sure.
You're looking at it. How soon are we getting that?
Okay, recently I did a new collaboration with Coded.
Right, right.
Yeah, we're hoping to have so many collaborations. I have collaborations. I have songs with Kaboom. I have songs with some of the top artists, right? But we're hoping to get somebody like Samini and Stone Boys and then the Shatawales. And yeah, so we're just hoping for the best. Management are working on that.
All right. So we have TV3's finest rapper here. Sure. He's called Kawawa, popularly, but he's Yaofusula. Many people don't know his talent. We're going to play a joint. Which one are you playing for us? Then we'll call Kawawa to come and, you know, he wants to battle you. That's the point.
Our fainting costume. Our fainting costume.
I told Kawawa has absconded. He's run away. But if Kawawa comes, Kawawa is here, please. Put your hands together.
Okay.
Welcome, Kawawa. Put your hands together. So, ahead of the VGMA that's happening tomorrow, Ghana Music's biggest night. It starts at 7. It will be on TV3 Live. This is Kawawa, the reigning champion. TV3 Got Talent. Yeah, reigning champion. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
He said he wants to know if you have a fainting costume.
No.
You don't guess so. But you gave him. Okay, so give us a joint. Let's hear the joint.
Okay. Yeah. Junada Sisto. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. That's it. Just imagine. Mike imagine. Star Masuya show na musido anka by now wabin. Keep on nagging. We'll punch you, create a margin. Moon the punch enough on them, suggest to Manapalatan. Retail rappers, we'll punch you to the wholesale. Boys, the woman the rappers, simple question, yet what I feel. Heal the king, I still the striker, Rick McQueen. Punch and take a walk of skin. Menyawali, but they like my sin. Muflo, you're coded. I buy a mobile no go bed. But you move them, it's a rap to move Muflo, them with the process. That's all we heat. Moving the heat to their condition. Basayaja boss, soccer academy in your competition. Masha Manu POP. Chadamo punches on points. Rapid heat, I'm off, I'm a but I don't know what I can quench. We play more outside, but we take Muflo with them, you confess. My surprise over the day ATM, my drop on points. Many drugstore, but day by day, make here with you disease. I rank a rapper over the top. To master what can it be? You don't know say we dey play. You don't know say we dey play. See, Enuti rap enter P. I'm back with the key. Area say my yedin to me person me shit. Me kita me degree. Na yedika tree. Me be kokoti. Ene a dream B. Oba me yada no need start letter P. And no pebia ochame bread and tea. OP. Long time no see. I don't know yes sir. From if you oh.
Okay, so you're going to be the judge. We don't know who won, but it's going to be Ayisem versus Kawawa this Friday night. We're going to be at the VGMA tomorrow night. It's going to be 7 p.m. start from the show. 200, 300 tickets on the sale. If you don't get Pacha, if you watch TV3, make you shout out, make you find out. Come on the red carpet. Mabina will bring pop. Chairman will bring meat, will bring something. The Friday night, make we chill, make we the holla.
The VGMA go be, you for come there, make it no slack. Wear your dinner, wear your canvas. What do they wear? For the red carpet top,